to talk your story. We all want to know, how did you survive?
Oh man, well, it's more than just a story. It's a journey for sure.
And the mass exodus from Burning Man is slowly moving forward.
Tens of thousands of people are being told to shelter in place.
This morning, the harrowing escape to make it out of Burning Man.
Rains hit on Friday, liquor in this girl's mouth. There was another van that caught on fire, dildo thing that like squishes. The rain and the hard conditions pulled his actual balls out at one point. Shit was getting really weird.
Back, guys, episode 29. What a fantastic. I can't even imagine that this podcast has gone to 29 episodes. If you guys want to support us, be sure to check out our Patreon, where we are trying our best to post a weekly episode. That's right. Every single week, we're going to be trying to get out these episodes. That's where you're going to see the most vulgar, the most insane episodes that we film that we can't show to anyone else. You can find it on our Patreon. It's Patreon.com/PODD, just like your mom, RE, PodDré. That's where you're going to find that thing. That's the best way to be part of our congregation. But, yeah, guys, so we're starting today off with the guest, Adam Gosset, survived the trenches. The war, really, of our generation.
Mudding Man, 2023. Yeah, so
he told me, like, I saw a photo of you, and I was like, oh, dude, we have to get him on the pod, to talk your story. We all want to know, how did you survive?
Oh man, well, it's more than just a story. It's a journey for sure.
It's It's a journey.
It's not even just not the destination. It's a journey. What they say is the biggest thing about my Burning Man is, I guess, every year I get back from Burning Man, I'm like, man, next time I do that, I'm just going to, like, fly in and take the Sparkle Pony route. And I'm just going to pay for a ticket and pay for a plug and play and just, like, not deal with any of this. But at the same time, every year it comes around, my shop just convinces me to do this ridiculous project that I just can't say no to because it's just too cool. So this year, our camp, Elmendorf and Gertz, will drop the Instagrams of mine, and our art shop, we did a project called Awakening, and it's this giant skeleton head made out of laser cut steel with a backing of vinyl and styrofoam.
Wow. And
it's this enclosed head, like 30 feet in diameter, 30 feet tall, and it's got these eyes with lenses in them and adjustable apertures to make what's called a camera obscura. And camera obscura, it projects what it sees on the back projection screen, which is the back of the head in this dark room that we've made with these hands that stick up out of the ground in front of it. And so when you see, you're looking at your own hands. And the hands project onto the wall, and then you can see like art cars and people and other things pass by in that projection image.
That's honestly sick as fuck.
Yeah,
like, I could definitely imagine like tripping balls at Burning Man and just going in here, and you're like, how does it work?
Yeah,
that's something I feel like a lot of people don't know about cameras, is that you can literally create a camera with just like a little pin in like a box, and sometimes it happens naturally. And like when your blinds are like, you just have like a little slit. Mm-hmm. If you notice, there'll be like weird things moving like on the wall, like behind you. Mm-hmm. And you realize that it's literally just like all of the photons from outside entering this hole, right? But then because of the hole, it ends up flipped.
Yeah.
Right? Which is wild. Like you got to think like the first man who discovered the camera obscura was definitely tripping balls. He must have been like, I see the horse.
Yeah.
There's a horse.
And we're even seeing it upside down in our own eye, and then our mind just flips it around.
It flips it.
Automatically.
It's got a sensor.
Yeah.
We got our own head sensors.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
nuts.
awesome though, dude. Like, so are there any photos of it like online?
Oh yeah, so just look up Awakening Burning Man. Now most of the photos you'll see probably at this time are the 2016. When it came out in 2016, and people are still loading the ones from this year.
Well, because like we're huge we're huge believers of being creative here at the PodDré podcast, okay? Because it's the creative works of God. Yeah, show this. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, it's made out of steel, and then what's really interesting is the fingers are anatomically made with these chrome balls. We found these big, gigantic chrome balls, and we use cabling across the joints to make it like an anatomical hand, and you can lengthen and retract the cables, and that makes the hand go in and out. So there's plans in the future for automation of the hands to actually move, but they're adjustable. And when we store it for shipping, which I'll show you a picture of it on the trailer, you can close the hands up and lower the center of gravity.
I feel like you could run like a bunch of hydraulics in there with like an Arduino that you could just like change up.
Oh, our shoppers, the Arduino masters, we use the STM32 and a lot of other mini blue pills, and we've even I'm an electrical engineer, so that's where I come into play with this.
For those of you who don't know, Arduinos are essentially like little computer chips, but that you can kind of program in like whatever way that you want.
Nerd moment here.
Yeah. But it's basically like a super, I don't want to say simple, but like it's a very convenient way to like make other electronic things happen based off of other things, right? And you can make a lot of art with it, like you can make a lot of functional things with it. But
it's a godsend of a nice packaged computer now that you don't have to you don't have to be an engineer to run one and do fun things with it. You just have to know some simple things.
Which I honestly I feel like that's going to create a whole new era of like geniuses, because there are kids who I mean, imagine having, even for us, we probably started seeing a lot of cool technology around middle school. Like we had computers and stuff like that, and we had the internet, we had games and which was like cool. But now people there's definitely like a 7-year-old out there like with an Arduino in his basement, like he's gonna have no social skills, but goddamn is he going to like he's gonna be the next Oppenheimer. Right. You know what I mean? But it's amazing to see like how our knowledge of computers and electronics will kind of progress in the future, especially with generations kind of like growing up on it. Yeah. You know, as opposed to more like our generation, which were like there was technology, but it didn't surround our childhood. You know what I mean? Like it was there, but it wasn't the main focus. Now it's the main focus. Yeah. You know? I saw this one smart home that had like these baby rockers. Right? And it was the whole thing, and there was like iPads on the wall, but like on like where the baby, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not for anybody else but the baby. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, dude, these kids are gonna grow up to be psychopaths.
Yeah, I remember when they're like, don't put your phone in your pocket, it's bad radiation for you or something, and now we're just like putting them in babies' cribs, like.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Elon Musk is trying to he's putting an Arduino in your brain, bro. But we'll save that for the Patreon and all that. Yeah, dude, this is those like electronic like movers, like.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Dude, are you?
I mean,
no, are you kidding me?
Like hot rod
in the
baby
future,
cradle,
you know the dangly things. They're gonna replace it with an iPad. They're gonna be watching Netflix, bro. They're gonna be like 2 years old, just being like, "Yeah, I gotta catch up on my latest show."
They're gonna figure out like some way to like educate you when you're like a 2-year-old, right? And it's like you can get out of school earlier and become a worker even faster.
All right, so I want to come back to technology after that because I feel like our nerd talk is always prime.
Oh yeah,
is always prime. But I want to go back to you in the middle of the desert. Tell me what you're feeling day one.
Oh my gosh. So this is my second burn now. Last year I did a project with the same camp.
You ain't no burn amateur.
So this ain't my first rodeo. It's my second rodeo, actually.
I like you had to specify.
So wouldn't be an expert, but I guess I'm not a regular. I'm just a burner. I'm not a noob.
Yeah. I feel it. You know what I mean? Like you're not like a bonfire just yet.
Yeah.
You know, you're like one of those fires that you have like in the back of your house in the suburbs.
No, that's my favorite thing to do at Burning Man. Actually, is just we have a burn barrel and we bring our own wood, and we do have our own burn, and we also burn just kind of like papers and scraps and things like that.
Do you burn, bro?
We burn.
You burn, bro.
Burn the hell out of ourselves sometimes.
Do you even burn, bro? Yeah, I burn. Shout out to Cody Co, bro.
If you don't get at least one burn or injury,
dude, I'm fucking burning. I swear,
Man, you didn't do it right.
Okay, so day one, you're probably super excited, right?
Well, I mean, like day one of the festival, but it starts before that with like a whole week of packing up and driving out there.
Oh yeah, isn't it like
so?
It's like, don't you need what's everything you need for Burning Man?
Everything. You need everything. You need everything.
You need everything.
You really do need everything. So you can share it with your friends then.
Yeah.
Just bring the house. Just do it. Yeah.
Just bring the whole fam. Move out there.
Yeah, just move. You have to move out there for a week. It's in the newspaper they described it as, I think, a ritualistic work stay vacation, and it really is just. It's a working vacation for a lot of us, and to needlessly bring shit we don't need. Like I brought my snowboard this year because they have a snow ramp there, and I love snowboarding, and that also completed my streak for this August.
Yeah,
because I snowboard every month.
I think that's the one thing that has surprised me about Burning Man, which I have not burned. I'm a burn amateur. I'm a burn virgin, one might say.
Virgin.
Yeah. A virgin. But from what I have seen, I've noticed that there's like so much to do there.
There's everything to do.
I also didn't realize how big it was.
Yeah.
Like it's giant. Like you have different wings of like where everyone is, So I can see why people would really love it. Mm-hmm. Like there's something about isolation, and it's like, like no one's worrying about their mortgage out there for, more than one reason. Mostly because everyone down there is benefiting off of the fucking the tech boom. You have a bunch of tech bros down there like finding themselves.
Well, there's a misconception of like who goes to Burning Man for sure, and this year was incredibly different, just because like. The rain and the hard conditions, and I don't know, people from the beginning showed up. Well, there was the first rain. The first rain during build week fucked big stuff up for sure. And then there was a dry week, and a lot of people even came late to dry week and set up late. And we really only had like 2 days out of the week before the rains hit on Friday and Saturday, and rained us out until Sunday, Monday. And by that time, everybody had left, and really the tech bros and Sparkle Pony population was slim. And I mean, really, it was mostly just all of us worker bees who were stuck there with big, large trucks and projects who needed heavy lift to get out, and just diehards that it was really almost a Burning Man revival. No bikes, you couldn't ride your fucking bike.
So all the tech bros were just like crypto. They got out.
Yeah, they got out, bro. There's a video of a guy pulling out in a TRX Ram, the Hemi 800 horsepower Ram, pulling a fucking RV through the mud. And it was
I've seen
sick,
the videos,
dude.
The videos, sick. Yeah. Pull up a video of like people trying to get out.
But the stupid thing is literally, dude, like probably not even more than 24, 36 hours or so was like when it was really bad. And then after that, you could find like dry routes where people had gone through before and just kind of like sneak your way out if you're a good driver, if you didn't have and really there's no emergency at all. Like big 4x4s were slinging shit around in the mud, and they're like, no, don't drive. You're going to fuck up the roads and make it unsafe for everybody. And then out in the fucking rain when we're partying is fucking... BM Org and the fucking ATV going fucking doing burnouts and shit, and everybody was having a good time.
So all the tech bros left, and then all the survivors we just kind of stayed out there in the rain, just like fuck it.
Yeah.
So you had fun.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. it's really...
I think that's a testament to like perspective.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like for like all of the videos that I saw. There's this one guy on TikTok. And this guy, I swear, he was talking about it like it was an emergency, like a statewide emergency. He's like, here we are, we're out here, the mud is getting thicker by the minute, we don't really know if we're gonna make it. And like it just made it seem so wild, you know, which is crazy. The fact that like also the like on all legacy media, it was huge.
Yeah,
they're like, you'll never believe it. There are people with more than 6 figures in their bank account stuck in the wilderness, and they freaked out, dude. They were like, "Well, we don't know, And you guys are just like in the rain, like it's not that bad, really."
Yeah. What you do? The new tip in this year: out is bags and feet, in is socks over your boots with tape. That's what you do.
That's what you do.
You put your boots on, and you put your old dirty ass socks on them, and for some reason the mud just doesn't stick. It's crazy because normally, like, they build up pretty good, and the flip flops do okay. You can kind of just scrape them off on shit.
Yeah.
But
this is like Eagle
socks,
Scouts,
man.
bro.
The socks.
You guys should all get
It's amazing.
patches.
Yeah.
For coming out of Burning Man.
Man, yeah, and the portals almost filled up to the brim, but by the time it dried out, they were able to get pumped out. So we made do, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just only 2 days really of bad. If it would have rained, you know, for like 5 days straight, yeah, some of us would have been fucked. But we like I said, you can still get 4x4s in and out in this shit.
Yeah.
So you can still drop supplies.
You're telling me that Tesla Autopilot won't work out in the sludge? Yeah, go ahead and play it.
So there's a lot of cars
audio.
that freaked out, and you just sink right down to the fucking bumper, and then they get pulled out.
Look
and
at
just
these guys.
rip the bumpers right out of them. There was another van that caught on fire trying to get out at Exodus Gate. Yeah, there was another limo that caught fire apparently too.
Someone brought a limo.
Yeah. Well, it was like a limo art car, and they put a sofa on top of it. It was actually pretty rad. But yes, like I said, they were doing okay. But it's like you're being an asshole, and you're missing the whole thing. You're missing the fucking man burn. And the man burn is like, if there's nothing else going on, you might as well see the fucking man burn. And that's the thing about this. This is, like I said, it's all in the newspaper. The newspaper article, the very last issue of BRC Weekly, addressed all of these issues, and it just came out perfectly. Once Larry Harvey said that once everybody knows about Burning Man, I'm paraphrasing, that it's going to stop changing the world as much, the mission of Burning Man has been successful because now everybody knows about it. You know?
Now it serves no other purpose.
And the 10 principles are maybe a little outdated, and maybe, the people there too, like just continuing to do the same thing over and over. It doesn't have to end, but there's at least, an obvious changing of the guard happening.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's so much different. And I encourage it, I love the change, and I love the big, huge art festivals and the big music, and seeing fucking Polo and Pan kill it this year.
Well, I think like Burning Man, as long as it changes in a good direction and it doesn't go too commercial, because I feel like
that's the whole thing about it, is it's like BRC is literally a city now, and with a city you have gentrification. Like, for sure. Like, like more inflation than necessary because so many people want to be there, and there's such a competition to have the biggest freaking art car out there. Even Elon went out there with an art car, a Tesla-powered art car or some stuff last year, I think. So there's just so
apparently
much...
autopilot does work, bro.
Yeah.
Elon was out there fucking doing circles in his Tesla in the fucking mud, just woohoo!
And so it's pushing out the more introverted, quiet people who just want to bring, a small art piece of their own and display it, because of all the rowdiness and ridiculousness going on.
Yeah.
And also the funding too. It's harder to get grants for smaller pieces than it is for larger pieces, and that's another reason why the newspaper is not going to be anymore, which is a real bummer.
They had a newspaper?
Yeah, they had a newspaper that used to be printed on Playa, not anymore, but they hand it out for free, and they don't want to give the editor a ticket anymore to next year's burn, or really help her out with placement or funding.
Damn.
And so she's just like, fuck you guys, then I'm leaving. And I don't blame them. And then a lot of people are like that too,
Yeah.
you know? They're just, the cost is going up, and the ludicrosity of the heat and the rain. And, you know, it's almost like, I think Burning Man may still continue to shrink just down to this core of survivors, like you said.
Yeah,
You know?
it's gonna do one or the other. It's either gonna go like super corporate, and it's just gonna turn into just like an EDM festival essentially, or it's going to shrink down to like all the survivors, like you said. And then at that point, it's just gonna turn into like a nudist fucking colony
of all the people that like to do the Black Rock naked pub crawl.
Yeah, what if we just meet 2 times a year? And then the next time it's like, what if we, 3-4 times a year?
And then it's just all the town of Gerlach, like.
Yeah, and then they just create a town.
They already have, like.
Yeah, basically, right? I always thought that was nuts. But I think there is something to say to, kind of being in this environment, because a lot of people, from what I understand, is kind of like a religious kind of feeling, like when you get there. It kind of tickles that same part of your brain.
Oh, yeah, and that's that first day you were talking about. You know, the first day you get there, you're like, oh my God, it's a release. I've gotten here. I deserve this. It's so amazing to freaking be here. And your energy's just through the roof. Like, I stayed up even though I was tired from driving, I stayed up through sunrise my first day. Just because, just to fucking see it. And it's amazing. And then as the week wears on and shit gets wild, it gets wild. But then at the end, to kick it off, you got the man burn. And that's just nuts. It's something you have to see.
Is that your favorite part?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so let's we're gonna finish off Burning Man with one last question. So what's the craziest thing you've seen at the burn as a seasoned burner?
I did see this one Indian guy at some like an actual native Indian American at a dive bar, like serving drinks out of this like dildo thing that like squishes, and it like squirted liquor in this girl's mouth. And then I think he also pulled his actual balls out at one point. Shit was getting really weird. Yeah.
So this guy just dude, that's what I'm saying. It's going to turn into a nudist colony, bro. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, we're out on the desert. My balls can be out. It's not the same rules.
I can squirt
here.
liquor in people's random strangers' mouths and very interesting.
Do you see any famous people there?
No. I heard of some, a friend's girlfriend of mine met Tipper's girlfriend or something like that. But
I don't think she'd be considered famous.
Yeah.
Usually there's some crazy names out there, from what I see.
I keep my interactions pretty short most of the time, so even if I met a famous person, sometimes I might not even know.
You're just talking to Brad Pitt, and you're just like, dude, this Molly is fucking great. Are you sensing those? And Brad Pitt's like, yeah. I was like, it was nice meeting you. And you just like leave, and you're just like, that guy was so nice.
Yeah, see, like everybody's all on this like rich asshole.
He's very handsome too.
Yeah, everybody's on this rich assholes trip of Burning Man, and I'm like, yeah, sure, lots of people are assholes, and lots of people at Burning Man are rich. There's really nice people that are rich at Burning Man,
There's
too.
just every kind of person at Burning Man.
Yeah, so don't trip about it. I mean, like, it really is just like a fucking city now.
Right.
So.
Dude, that's wild. That is wild. Well, I'm glad you got out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you made it into something that a lot of people seem to be ruined by.
Oh, and the rain wasn't even the worst part of it. When we were coming back through Salt Lake, we were towing. We have this ambulance, an old 2003 Ford ambulance, a diesel, and it pulls this flatbed trailer with all of our shit on it.
Yeah.
And I was driving it up Utah past Echo and Colville. Really beautiful part of Utah, east of Salt Lake City, and I'm just motoring along, and then all of a sudden, bam, and the truck goes wah, wah, side to side, and I fucking step on the brakes. We were only doing like 35 miles an hour anyways, because that's as fast as you can go up the damn hill.
Yeah.
But we fucking stopped, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And we're in the middle of the night on a 2-lane road with like no fucking shoulder at all. Trucks are fucking passing by way super close, and on the inside of the road, on the left side, the fucking both dually wheels almost fell off. All the wheel studs were broken off, and the wheel almost fell off.
Oh my god!
And so,
dude, that could have been so bad, especially like
if
holding
it actually
weight,
came off.
pulling weight, and
yeah. So if it actually came off, we would have been fucked. But because it didn't, we were able to call this salty bastard from Colville to come out and give us a fucking flatbed tow, and he maneuvered that thing like a fucking master and got us on the fucking flatbed without the wheel falling off, got us back to this tiny town, and they were able to fix us up we took it in at like midnight, and the dude started working on it like 7 a.m. By the time everybody in the fucking motel woke up at like 10, they were done. And we were out of there. Yeah. It was awesome.
This guy is just like, I have to go where, dude? They're like, it's an ambulance. We got a big human skull thing.
Yeah.
They're from Burning Man.
And we gave him some stickers too, which reminds me, that's one of the great principles of Burning Man that I really love is gifting.
Gifting. Oh, it's like the Swifties. You know what I mean? With like the bracelets.
Yeah.
So Burning Man's just basically, you know, like a Taylor Swift concert, just without all of the fucking white sorority girls.
Yeah, well, there's definitely Taylor Swift there if you want to find it.
Yeah, you could find Swift anywhere.
You can find anything you want at Burning Man.
That's Swift anywhere.
The beautiful thing
That's
about
great.
it.
Thank you for that, dude.
Yeah. That's our camp sticker with the art on it in the head. So
sick. I wish I could give something back, but I guess I haven't burned yet, so I don't know.
Just thanks for having me on this podcast.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm glad you got out. I'm glad you made it fun. You did, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they probably went home and they just were not about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just complained forever to everybody, and they're like, "I'm home safe." They probably went on Facebook and they're like, mark themselves.
Well,
safe.
that's what I was thinking today when I was coming over here. Was like, some people have a really great boost after Burning Man, and it really relieves their oppression, and they're just back in the game again. And it's because like I think. Or you know, some people they just really fall off the wagon and just spiral.
Or the opposite. They like,
and I think it's because you get back
deeper.
and you see that the city, like our city, at least for me, it's a lot like Black Rock City.
Yeah,
you know, you have the same thing. It's the same stuff. I mean, yes, we use money, but we interact in very similar ways, and our businesses and our homes are like our own camps, you know, and we have camp mates and people and events. And
well, it's like it goes back to kind of the core of what our ancestors used to be.
Yeah, it does.
Which is like we used to just move around in these big tribes, and I feel like that our lizard part of our brain really loves that. You know what I mean? Like your lizard part of your brain hates that you own an apartment on the fucking third floor. You know what I mean? And so when you go there, that's the same thing with like camping. You feel almost kind of like rejuvenated. You feel like even
though you're sheltering in place in a fucking tent for like 3 days. You know?
Some would even say that you're having more of a natural connection with nature.
Well, and the way things work, like I said, you know, when the sun comes out and it's evening and it's just the right temperature, everybody takes off their clothes, and then when it's fucking cold, everybody puts on clothes and goes inside. You know, so like the social scene even just revolves around the weather out there.
Yeah, exactly. And so it kind of brings you back to those raw roots, which I think all is circled around this idea of like a soul and like this religious need to explain things further than you. And also those social interactions between people are like huge, because it forces you to be social when a lot of people won't. Yeah. But like you said, there are people who leave it and they feel drained. They went there only for drugs. They only went there.
Well, like I said, a lot of people that left, you know, almost left pissed off. I feel like sometimes they're like, you know what, fuck it, and it's poor communal effort. Really, you know, to just be like, fuck you guys, I've done what I could do here, and I'm out of here for the weekend, you know, because I got shit to do, I can't be late. And really, the rain didn't delay anybody. Like, you could have still gotten out on Monday the same time you would have if you stayed for Temple Burn on Sunday, which a lot of people don't even stay for Temple Burn, you know? So,
they don't burn, bro. They're not true burners.
They don't burn. They're just there to take some pictures and get out of there.
Yeah, that's it. You know, but I feel like that's kind of the Coachella crowd.
Yeah,
those are the same people that go to Coachella. You know, but the survivors, they ain't going to Coachella.
Well, and like I said, we still welcome all that crowd, and and spectators, I suppose, because without spectators, we wouldn't have a lot of money in cash and funds, ticket funds and things like that.
Yeah.
So we again, it's
we
an
need the rich
interaction.
people.
It's an interaction between. It's an interesting.
Like, they're still rich people. We're still gonna treat them like the rich people, but we still need you. You know what I mean? Elon, we need you.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we might not like how you do things.
If you got some really crazy idea for art, send it to us. We'll build it for you.
Speaking of rich people that are constantly dogged on, I don't know if you've seen this, but Logan Paul is supposed to fight Dillon Danis. The way that he's been trash fighting, or trash talking, which it literally is like talking. But Logan Paul just gets engaged to this girl named Nina, right? Dillon Danis posts like 200 photos of her with like all of these other famous guys that she got photographed with, and he's doing this daily. But he was doing, and so he was doing a show with Aiden Ross, I believe, and he said that he had these like super explicit photos of her. Oh. And that these photos could like ruin their relationship forever, but he wasn't going to release them. So she actually files for a lawsuit against him. This is before like their big like boxing fight and everything, right? And on top of the lawsuit, she also files a restraining order against him, right? Which is wild. So I think what that does is that begs to differ, like, what is on those photos, bro?
Right.
Like, what
Are they even
is
real?
it?
Like I said, it says doctored photos. You can't even tell if anything's real these days.
That's the thing with AI.
You can make a naked photo, AI photo of anybody these days. And honestly, who really cares? I mean, like, that's the thing is, I really feel like if you're going to be taking photos naked, like, you just have to know that they're going to be out there everywhere. He's
got that burn feeling to it, dude. Dude, if it's fucking take a dick pic, it's out there somewhere. It's gonna be floating around.
Who cares? Like, yeah.
I don't even think it's like naked photos. I think it's just like photos of like her with like all these like famous dudes, right?
And that's just like a jealousy thing, like, right? Like,
it's a jealousy thing, but I think also what it's insinuating is that she's like only in it for the clout. But it's like, it's LA. Who isn't in it for the clout?
That's what I'm saying. Like, own that shit, man. Just fucking own it. Like, it's not a problem.
Just be like, yeah, dude. She's been with fucking... In fact, he was on Flagrant 2, which is another comedy podcast by Andrew Schultz. Why don't you go ahead and pull up that clip of Logan Paul on Andrew Schultz talking about the controversy. But he was basically just being like... I think one of the comedians was like, well, at least she got a nice roster. And he's like, yeah, dude, like, she only fucks with the top caliber of men, If anything, you got to feel good about that,
fucking props.
I feel like I would be so much more mad if I was Logan if he posted a photo every day. If he posted a photo every day, but with like an ugly dude. You know what I mean? I feel like that'd be so much worse. You'd be like, girl, why is there 200 photos of you with all these ugly dudes? And she's like, it's just my type. And you're like, oh no. Oh no. You come to realization. It just all starts piecing together for you. You'd be like, am I 231? No, baby. All right, run it.
Don't tell me what a parachute is.
I'll tell you later, bro.
A parachute is that's skydiving. Right?
You ain't been in the top of Nicky, bro.
Hold on. I don't want to go there. You see you doing it. I don't want to. You still doing it. It shows me I was peeing. I come back.
I think you're a little bit late. Just start more from the beginning. Damn, we got hit with the ad right before. But yeah, I feel like that'd be so much worse. You know what I mean? It'd be like your girl's just been dating all these fucking, like the moles. They look like mole rats that somehow got up and passed themselves off.
Well, I guess that just makes you feel bad about yourself, I guess,
Yeah.
It's like, I dated that person, oh my God.
I don't know. I feel like girls care less about looks though than guys.
Well,
do.
of course.
You know, girls can date an ugly guy and like feel no shame about it, but that he has to have something else though. There's something else. There's never just an ugly dude.
Well,
That's
like I
just an
said, this
ugly
gets
dude.
down to this whole tribal roots thing again. You know, it's literally protection. It's
Yeah.
like even you see it at like Burning Man with guys that have RVs. It's like, hey, honey, it's raining. You want to sleep in my RV with me?
Come into my my oasis?
Yeah.
In this desert. You're like, oh damn, you're trying to be all fucking weird about it, son. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, girls. I feel like every girl's got like an ugly boyfriend out there. An ugly ex-boyfriend. There's always one, bro. There's
Yeah.
always one. There's like, how did this? And it's always just like, I don't know. He had such a great personality. And then you're just sitting there thinking like, damn, like what kind of lines was he using on my girl, dude? Like what? You just giving this up? Like what the fuck?
You're like, I'm not funny. I must be more funny.
I know.
Damn it.
Right, like, oh, he was so fucking funny. He was so hilarious. You're like, I'm funny? I'm funny, right? And you're like, yeah, honey, but you got other aspects, and you're like, I don't know if, like, I feel good about that or not. Like, would you rather be the ugly boyfriend or the unfunny one? All right, roll it.
I haven't been able to find where they actually talk about it.
There should be like a separate segment on Flagrant. Like if you just look up like Logan Paul talking about Dillon Danis. I think this is like a small segment. Anyways, if you find it, you can find it. I think that might be it.
Show me this video. I'm listening to it. I changed the audio source. I just haven't heard them actually mention his name yet.
Or just talking about like the photos or whatever. But yeah, just keep looking, and if you find it, just pause it. But yeah, I don't know. This is like a wild thing. So, but apparently, like he got blocked off from posting any photos that he obtained illegally, right? Or could be hacked or like AI processed or anything like that. Which, like you said, like this is today's age now.
Yeah.
Now we have to deal with photos that can depict anyone doing just about anything.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And in fact, I remember there was a guy who got arrested, I think, for like having this AI like website where it was all like famous people, like famous girls that were just streamers or, they weren't sex workers at all. But this guy had this whole website filled with like AI versions of that porn, which is crazy, dude. Imagine like accepting like the terms and agreement of some random app that you downloaded like a fucking year ago, and then you're just like scrolling through like Pornhub, and you're just like, that guy has hair like me. Why does he have a mustache? And you just see yourself just getting back shots. You're like, what the fuck? Be like, you sold your image to us, so we can do with it whatever you want. And you're just like, oh, god damn it, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the future. That's literally where it's going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, any person would be able to, like, search your name.
You'd be able to use your body and hack into your brain, and some fat guy will be controlling your body.
Some fat guy, right? He just forces you to eat. That's what you're telling your therapist at night. He'd be like, why are you gaining so much weight? Be like, well, there's this fat guy. He hacks into my brain every night, and then he forces me to go downstairs and make a delicious bologna sandwich. Why do you saying it's delicious? Oh, because he makes them really good, Imagine getting hacked, and it's like they just do all the grocery shopping for you, so it's like none of the stuff that you normally want. That would be so annoying to have someone else grocery shop for you. You'd be like, dude... what's this bullshit that you vegan cheese? What do you got going on here? But yeah, I just think it's wild that I wonder if this fight's even going to happen at this point. You know, if she's doing a restraining order, that means she can't go to the fight then, right?
Oh, they're just bullshitting.
It's just all bullshit.
All bullshit.
It's just all bullshit. This girl has been with fucking everyone. Just look up the photos with Nina. Like Logan Paul, Nina photos. You will never believe the people that she's been hanging around, dude. She's friends with every fucking famous person ever. I think just do it without the photos. Do it without Logan. Photos with Nina, famous people. I don't know. You can literally go on Dillon Danis' Twitter and see him every morning. He says good morning, and has a new photo. And that's all the trash talk he's been doing. He's just been posting these photos, which I will admit I think is hilarious to a certain extent. But as soon as you start like threatening to like post like intimate photos, then it becomes a little bit of a different thing, you know?
Oh, it's just so ridiculous, you know? Just let things go. Let people be, you know? She can do what she wants to do.
I think all it is just trash talk. Like, this poor girl just got stuck in between this, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then again, if you're going to marry Logan Paul, like, this is going to be the shit that you're going to have to deal with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, your what's going to be husband is going to be, like, a huge, you know, like, there's so much drama around the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
There's just an unlimited amount of, like, you have to know that. You know what I mean? With all the famous people she's been hanging around, you know? Like, you just have to know that. But to be honest, like, I have my money on Logan, bro. He's got the fury. He's got all this anger. He's just been storing up, like, fucking Dragon Ball Z energy that he's just ready to knock this guy out, dude. He better, dude. Because the last fight he had, he lost. So he literally has a 0-1 record. So if he loses this one, dude, he's so fucked. You can't lose this one after all this shit.
Damn.
It's just a baby, yeah.
Life of a fighter.
I think it's been like purged because they're explicit.
No, most of them are just like photos with her with like famous dudes. She's just dated every famous dude ever. Mm-hmm. You know, but again, like, if this was in Montana, like, what the fuck? Doesn't make any sense. But LA, dude, half of those girls have dated every fucking famous person, you know? It's like whenever you see that on the site, like, all the ads on the side that are just like, you won't believe who's dating who. And it's just like two people you never imagined would be dating. You know, it's like Timothy Chalamet and fucking, like, Shakira. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, this is where society has reached now.
Passive aggression.
Just passive aggression. Yeah, dude. Like, everybody, because, like, you can't say stuff anymore. So now it's like all you do is just post stuff that just incriminates you in, like, every way possible. You know? Like, I can't wait for the day that's just like everybody's just gonna have each other's dick pics.
Yeah,
on hand all the time, and you're gonna be like, bro, if you don't fucking do this, okay, I got the whole photo album. And you're like, yeah, so does Twitter, bro. You know, like you said, it's out there.
Like
you might as well.
Like I said, I'm on the train, man. Just own what you do. You know, don't do things that you wouldn't do, and when you do, fucking apologize. You know, and there's nothing more you can do. No need to hide shit. You know.
Yeah, I was never a fan of taking dick pics. You know what I mean? I felt like a lot of dudes. It felt like there was a select amount of dudes that just did all the dick picking. Oh, yeah, so Joe Jonas. Is that it? Oh, yeah, he was dating Adam Levine. She was dating Adam Levine. Dude, imagine dating this girl after all of this shit. Who's this guy? Lead singer of The Wanted. Leonardo DiCaprio, the classic, that dog. Damn, dude, she's professionally dating, bro. She went out to LA and she's like, I'm gonna find
everyone,
someone. I'm gonna find someone and they're gonna fucking marry me. And then she had to go from Hollywood elite to like YouTuber status, which I'm sure hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? She's like, damn, like I remembered like a few weeks ago. She's like on her Snapchat and it's just like photos brought up from last year when she was on a yacht with fucking Leonardo DiCaprio.
Man, that's the thing is I'll never understand is like the need for that validation. You know, it's fucking toxic.
By like famous people?
Yeah, like that's why people are famous is because they don't stop, you know?
Yeah.
Like normal people, like we get like money, like, you know, a couple $1 million and we're like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking move somewhere and hang out with my fucking friends and live a kick-ass life, you know? These other people are like, no, I must be with the most powerful people in the world, you know?
I think it's like the same thing of like when have you ever like been in front of like an insanely attractive person? Like either a guy or a girl, and you're just sitting there and you're just like, wow, I hope they like me. And then you have to like shake it off for a second. You're like, why? Why do I care more that this fucking person, you know, like you hanging out with Brad Pitt and not even known as Brad Pitt, you know, like why do I want him to like me so much? You know, like, I'm getting little fuzzy feelings, you know, like I don't understand, you know, but it's that same thing. I think it's like, you see people who have had successes in certain areas, right? And it's like you want to be that. So you kind of hope that if they accept you, then that means that you must be somewhat on the same level as them, which then makes yourself feel better.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like a lot of that validation comes from, which like back in the good old days, that was only for like the mayor who ran your town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The local sheriff, you know, like the monarchy, like that was huge, you know, like religious leaders, you know, and now it's like we don't have that anymore. You know, I don't
nobody even knows who's in office. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't even know who's in office. You know, to be honest, like it could be
you hit that ballot and you're like, I don't know who the fuck most of these people are, but.
Right? Like, you could be going to Safeway, and there's, like, the guy who's determining what your taxes are going to be paid is, like, sitting there just getting a banana, and you're just like, look at this fool wearing a fucking suit to Safeway. you, like, voted for him? You have no idea.
Yeah.
You're just like, there's no fucking point, but... I feel like there's always going to be that need for validation for certain things, you know? And... this is something that I feel like I'm very intimate with because I'm a content creator, you know what I mean? Like there is no greater form of like wanting validation than like getting millions of like something that I think that a lot of people don't understand is the feeling that I get when I just get like 1 million fewer views.
Yeah.
And it's so fake. It's so fake. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like you can feel bad because you're not doing as well on your goals. Like that's one part of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a good person, you're lucky with like maybe 80-90% of it is that. You know, if you have a soul. You know, you're not one of these like nothing behind the eyes kind of people. You know, those people's like 80-90%. They're just mad that they're not good at something. Yeah. You know? Right? But, like, sometimes I have to kind of, like, stop myself and be like, listen, the numbers aren't what matter. Like, it does matter in a sense that, like, you need these as metrics to, like, continue to be better. But the thing is that, like, small changes like that really shouldn't change your day-to-day grind.
Yeah.
If it changes your day-to-day grind, and that means you have something more invested in it, and that's your ego, you know, which at the core of it, like Burning Man and like psychedelics in general, is this idea of an ego. Yeah. You know, and like all the research that I have done, along with like personal accounts from my friends who have done like psychedelics themselves, and is that it all comes down to this idea of like self. Yeah. You know, like what do you portray yourself as? Because it's not true. Yeah. Whatever you portray yourself as, it's not true. Whether if it's like you telling yourself that you're not good enough or telling yourself that you're way better than you truly are. Right. You know?
We don't really know what we're capable of until we get tested in real life, you know?
Oh, dude, I think most humans are animals. And the only thing that's stopping us from being animals is the fact that we have a new show on Netflix every day, and we have a store that's like, a mile away that gives us food as much as we want. Take away the Netflix shows and take away the fucking local McDonald's and Safeway that you buy all your groceries at. Everyone instantly like our fucking ancestors. You will be on the fucking streets just like causing havoc.
Give them bread and circuses and they won't revolt.
Yeah. You need an NFL team every once in a while. You know what I mean? As a great comedian said, he said, all you got to do is like give your people an NFL stadium every few years, and don't fucking forget about all the rest of the fucked up shit that you're doing behind the scenes. I don't know. Like, do you think you could survive? Let's say apocalypse happens, right? Whether if it's zombies or nuclear warfare or, everyone's nudes and search history gets leaked, that could just certainly end the world, Do you think you could survive?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
For some time.
For some time.
I probably wouldn't live as long as I normally would.
I give myself 6 months to a year, max. I'm not making it past a year, bro. Because after a year, that's when the real shit happens. It's fun for 3 months.
Well, that whole first year that's when you like need to scramble and get your shit prepared.
Yeah.
For the long run, because if you don't do that, then the resources are just going to go downhill.
They're just going to start dwindling,
so.
And then then you have to create like a renewable place that you
exactly
can stay
like
at.
The first year you have to use non-renewables to create your own renewables.
Yes. And then you need protection to protect your bungholes.
Well, it's like Minecraft.
Yeah, because the local militia is gonna come by and fucking diddle your fucking shit.
Yeah.
Real bad. Because
that's why I would just move to the mountains in some super remote place.
Right.
And use modern technology.
It's gonna be like Rome, where like you don't have porn, so now you just like force people to fuck in front of you. You know what I mean? There's like somebody pretending to be like the web page. You know what I mean? They even have like a little X at the top. You're just sitting there and you're just like X. You're like fucking X. Like that's how I imagined like the end of the world would be, the apocalypse. It would just be a bunch of people like just paying other people to kind of like act like they did back in the day, Yeah. There'll be some guy who's at the top. Somehow he ended up like the king of the survivors, and he just like gets off on like forcing people to do shit. That's why it's like it always comes back to the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like we have society, we build it up, we have rights, and then it crumbles, and then we go back to like, monarchical, super patriarchy,
Yeah.
But hey, who knows what? Like with the Gen Z being a part of the apocalypse, we might have a few matriarchies out there. You never know. Just a bunch of women and like one dude that they jack off so they can continue.
Oh man, well
on
that's
their
what
time.
I'm saying is I think women have always had the place of power for a long time.
There actually has been like a lot of historical matriarchies.
Yeah, I mean I think it's natural because they're really the ones that decide.
I think they're better at a lot of decision making when it comes to like understanding the needs of their immediate people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something that's messed up with the society today is that those types of roles like caregiving and nursing and teaching and all those things are very underpaid.
Underpaid, dude.
So women are being forced into this masculine role, like do science and learn math and you can get paid more and actually live. It's like, well, I'm not naturally inclined towards that.
You know that there was actually a study done that found out that people who got surgeries from women were least likely to have side effects after.
I definitely have less side effects from women massaging me than men. Man, sometimes some guys like rip me up sometimes. Like, I'm just sore for like 3 days, and I was like, well, that sucked.
Well, you're just sitting there and you're like, damn, like now I'm just hurting more.
Yeah.
I'm just hurting more than I was before, bro. Like, I don't know. Maybe our bro sausage should not fucking happen anymore.
Yeah.
fucking bro, it's Brosage Saturday, dude. We have it on the field. Like, yeah, but can you not handle me like you're fucking, like you're a goddamn gorilla, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not your girlfriend, dude. Just fucking, just get the knot. You don't have to sit there. You just sit there like, you know what that reminds me of? Bring up the chiropractor dude that uses like a fucking hammer and like a chisel. There's this chiropractor guy that uses like a hammer and a chisel, and he basically like chisels at your knots. Mm-hmm. But there's one knot that apparently is in your butt. It's like near your butt. So there's all these videos of him just like sitting there like like drilling into these dudes' butts, and they're like, oh, it's fucking hilarious. If you can find it. That's going to be the real jobs. What do you think? Like, if there was like a makeup society, what do you think your job would be? You know?
Made up society?
Not like a what do you call them? Like a reformed society post-apocalypse. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd still be with the same role I am today. I'd be an engineer.
You'd be an engineer?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're like, I could do art on the side. And you're like, shut up, bro. You're making us fucking rockets.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the fucking next tribe, they're trying to diddle us, and we're trying to diddle them. We need more rockets. Do you want to be diddled, or you want art?
Yeah.
You want diddling or you want art?
That's my art. My art is science, man.
All right, fine, dude. I'll make the fucking rockets. I'll make the goddamn rockets. I'm just saying we could use some art around this place. You know, we're eating all these people, bro. It smells a little weird here. That's how I just wanted to lighten up the mood. You know, everyone's crazy from eating each other. You know?
Oh my god.
I'd give myself a year for sure to be on the apocalypse. Well, I think it depends on like whether if I can reach leadership. You know what I mean? Like 50-50 for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you, let's say like you're a year in, you know what I mean? And you end up like running into me, you know, the Walking Dead style.
Yeah.
You know, out of nowhere, you know? One of two things is going to happen, okay? One, I'm either going to be like fucking shitting in a fucking hole, you know, just barely surviving off of scraps, just only me, like purely just luck I've just survived on. Like I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Scrounging for Twinkies.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm gonna be like ahead, like the president of like this like whole community of people. We're gonna have a whole army, you know, we're gonna have everything. It's obviously gonna be a sex cult.
Or you could just wind up being the jester.
To survive, I'd do that too. Yeah, to survive, I'd do that too. But I feel like they would get too pissed at me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing. There's really a fine line between being a comedian and a leader. Honestly.
Yeah. There is a fine line, but
like you're telling the truth.
But comedians have always been known for truth.
Yeah.
You know that's the original reason for gestures. It wasn't for entertainment because they had music, they had plays. You know, they had
because the jester knows what's up.
They had sex slaves. You know, they was fucking entertained, bro. You know what I mean? And plus, it was back in the day. Bro, back in the day when you're dying at 30, you fucking. You know, you laying that shit down like as many hours of the day as possible.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get as many fucks down, you know, if you're dying at 30. So, like, they had entertainment. The real reason for, like, gestures was the gestures would always tell the king's uncomfortable truths that might lead to more success, right?
Yeah.
Because all the generals are just like, you know, all the generals during the fucking USSR and Stalin, you know, they're all very, you know, it's very good. So Stalin, I know. It's good plan. Don't worry, we're not going to die. You know, you're just trying not to fucking be killed by the leader, you know? But so the jester would always be the one who could say shit but would never get killed, essentially.
Because he's funny.
Right? And that was like a universal rule. You know, a few jesters got killed here and there. They made a few, you know, yo
went
mama
a little
jokes.
too far.
Yeah, they hit the yo mama jokes. That's where the first
like,
yo mama jokes, and they're just like, do not talk about Solanus' mother. Yo, mother, no. But yeah, otherwise than that, they told like these super important people, like, you know, like, sire, you do not desire to be diddled by the next clan over. They have much more people to diddle. And he's like, you know what, you're right. And all the fucking generals are like, woo! You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, thank God that this gesture's here.
Yeah.
I think in a survival situation, I'd either eat shit or I would want to be a complete leader. You know, no in between for me.
Given the right circumstances, I think you could do it for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, get totally unlucky and get the fucking unlucky card and just die. I mean,
if none of this works, my next plan was just to start a sex cult. You know what I mean? Like, I could get it done in today's age. You know, just like make it about Burning Man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It is kind of in its own way a little cult. You know, people do get cultish about the Burning Man. Dude, you're literally burning a man, like, and you're all gathering around the Burning Man.
I mean, I got all my stuff I'm wearing. Every year I get like a new piece, you know, to wear.
Yeah. You're just collecting stuff.
I'm like a member. I'm like a certified member now.
Yeah.
Like, here's your participation patch for this year.
Yeah. The only problem with sex cults is that the sex eventually fades out. I feel like the sex can't last more than like a generation or two. In most sex cults, you know, because then
you gotta have an inflow of people and outflow of people. You know, you can't just be the same people because then they like start to fucking fight and stuff.
Yeah, and also their kids end up in a sex cult with all the other kids, and then it starts getting a little weird.
Usually kids just like leave and stuff. So
yeah.
They're like, fuck it, I'm out of here. It's like the reverse of the whole like Grateful Dead bus thing. It's like, oh shit, now I've been born into this. Now I'm leaving to the
I mean that was
world.
Probably a lot of kids who were born during the 70s and like the sexual revolution. They probably like were done with sex by the time that, you know what I mean. Like, my parents were just super open with it. And it was just weird, and now, you know, I'm just a missionary guy now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just do missionary, you know? But it's the real freaks are like the Catholic people, you know, people who have been subjected that like they can't think about it, you know. So that's why you got to find a good middle, you know.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Utah, like going through Utah is crazy. The Mormon underground scene is insane.
Oh yeah,
you know, I mean, it still happens. It's just repressed, you know.
Yeah,
and it's even worse and like more illicit and fucking terrible, and sex trafficking rings. And a friend of mine almost got stuck in a sex trafficking ring in a really interesting like scenario in fucking Utah where like
interesting scenario in Utah.
Yeah.
Wait, this girl almost got like grabbed and thrown into a fucking van, and you're like, that was interesting. Damn, dude. Yeah, it's fucking, you know, I think it's all the soaking, bro. You know, they're just soaking too much.
Yeah.
You know, or what was that other thing called when you soak? I think it is soaking. It's like when you put it in her, but you don't move, but then you have one of your friends move the bed. Yeah. That's what soaking is. You didn't know that? Yeah. So like you're inside of her, because in the Mormon Bible or whatever, apparently it specifies that only the movement of sex is considered sex. So they found a loophole.
So Elvis is just having sex up there on stage?
Yeah. See, Mormon soaking slash jump humping. So they'll have a friend. They'll have a friend while they're sitting inside of her, and their friend will start bouncing on the bed to cause the friction. So technically, they're not having sex because they're not causing the friction.
What?
Yeah.
It just happened. I just slipped and fell, and then somebody started jumping on the bed. It was weird, you know?
Imagine explaining a pregnancy.
Yeah.
You're just like, I swear it was they were jumping, and the whole thing just you know. How am I supposed to know what's happening here? You know, like Joseph, because, you know, they're all named that or some shit, you know, down in Utah. But yeah, dude, that's wild. Do you know what docking is?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. I think that's fucking hilarious. It's when you take one guy that's uncircumcised and one guy that's circumcised, and you put the tip in from the fucking the extra skin, and then you dock it like
just
a
for
fucking
funsies,
shit.
I guess.
It's not gay, bro. It's not gay. It's like the goddamn Island Boys. So it's not gay if we make out for a little bit. You know? Just sitting there trying to convince your friend. You know, it's the science thing, dude. Fucking PEMDAS, dude. The scientific. You've never gone to like, no, dude. I'm not gonna put my dick in your fucking foreskin for scientific research reasons. Fucking whatever.
It's an experiment.
Right? Yeah, you are being experimental. That is for sure. Oh my god, dude. I just can't. All right, well, like we're at an hour. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, not really. Just go to Burning Man if you've never been before. You only have to go once.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Fucking go.
Oh, plug all of your stuff. He's got some cool
stuff.
stuff happening. So go ahead and tell the camera.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm with a public art studio, and we build public art. We have multiple Burning Man projects, and got the Instagrams there, and as well as my own. And I do make music, and I DJ, and I like to do vinyl DJing, specifically with analog and different nerdy stuff like that. So
awesome. So you can find all of his links right in our description. Check out his stuff. He's super talented with his art. He's also super talented with his DJing, everything around. Thank you, everyone. Let's give a round of applause for Adam for coming in. The survivor.
Yeah.
The survivor.
I fucking made it.
Right? Part of the new congregation. Remember, guys, if you want to support our podcast, leave a like, comment, and smash that subscribe button. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if any subjects you want us to go over. And be sure to check out our Patreon. It's Patreon/POD double D, just like your mom, RE for PodDré. You're going to find our best and wildest content on there. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for being part of the congregation. Bye.